What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism boxing channel, where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like, subscribe, make sure you hit the bell notification, put it on all so you can get notified of all our latest content on the channel. So without further ado, let's get into it. So recently, a little bit of news on Twitter. There's been a bit of a Twitter back and forth between Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing and Gervonta Tank Davis. And as we know, Eddie Hearn, he promotes Devin Haney, and they're looking, he wants that fight for Devin Haney. And obviously Tank has just fought the other week, moved up to 140, skipped over 135, went to 140, beats this guy Mario Barrios. And yeah, so they'd been going back and forth a little bit about sort of getting fights done and whatnot. And the two tweets that sort of stuck out to me were Gervonta Davis. He said, listen, words to the effect of, I'm getting paid more than these other guys. These bums, they're not on my level. They're not getting paid more than me. I'm the man that's getting paid the most money. More or less, I'm the star. These guys, it seems like they're desperate. It seems like they need me more than I need them, because they're calling me out. They're asking for me, and I'm just sitting here. I'm doing it effortlessly, and I'm getting paid more than all your guys, blah, blah, blah. So basically, Gervonta Davis was playing the sort of high and mighty role. I'm better than your guys. I'm getting paid more than your guys, and your guys are the ones that need me. I don't need them, because I'm doing this thing so effortlessly, so smoothly. And it just echoes the sentiments of Leonard Ellaby, who sort of manages and is involved with the whole TMT and, the whole Mayweather thing. It's Mayweather's kind of right-hand man and whatnot. And he says as much about Tank. He said, yeah, well, we don't know who Josh Taylor is. Yeah, we don't know who he is in this country. Only about a few percent of the people who are here to watch Tank know who he is. And they've just been, Ellaby and that, they've just been very sort of dismissive of other fighters, of even an undisputed champion in Josh Taylor. And yeah, they just all seem to have this sort of high mighty attitude. We get paid more, blah, blah, blah. We're better than you, and we, therefore we don't need you. We'll just continue to do what we want. And Eddie Hearn responded as any sort of good, he responded as any good promoter or good boxing fan would reply. And he said, look, mate, yes, you're good, you're a star, you're doing well. You just done 200K pay-per-view buys. All I'm saying is, give the fans what they want to see. I'm talking to you because essentially, what the fans want to see is legacy fights. They want to see you fight Lopez, Teofimo Lopez. They want to see you fight guys like Devin Haney. They want to see you fight guys like Ryan Garcia. And he said, yeah, you've done 200K pay-per-view buys, but what about if you were to take the real fights, the legacy fights, the fights where it's 50-50? And yeah, very good. For me, I definitely want to agree with Eddie Hearn there, because I think this whole sort of high and mighty attitude, I suppose it kind of comes from the Floyd Mayweather school of thought. But what these guys always forget is that when Floyd Mayweather was sort of moving and maneuvering like that, he was towards the latter part of his career. So he'd already had the tough fights. He's already, he'd already gone through divisions and fought the best of the best before he came to this position of, oh, money Mayweather, I'm gonna just pick and choose. He was fighting a lot of people. I wouldn't say for absolutely everybody, but he did fight a lot of the best, a lot of the best competition as he rose through the divisions. And he rose through the divisions prior to sort of having this attitude of, well, they've got to come to me, they've got to do this, got to do that. Even when he fought Oscar De La Hoya, he was a big name in the sport. But Oscar De La Hoya was the A side, so he let Oscar De La Hoya choose the gloves and choose, I don't know, probably ring size, and he let Oscar De La Hoya sort of have a lot of his own way with the gloves and certain things in the fight, because he knew that, well, in that fight he was the B side. But these guys like Tank, okay, yes, he's won a world title, legitimate one, back in the days. But at the end of the day, what he won off of Barrios the other day is not the real belt. The real belt is with Josh Taylor, the undisputed champion. So they parade him around like he's a champion, but the problem is he's not the real champion. The real champ is Josh Taylor in that division. So that in itself, the idea that, oh yeah, I've just won another no, you haven't, because you didn't fight the champion. You fought a guy who had the sort of the minor version of the belt. So that to me is a bit of a bit deceptive and a bit delusional on their part. And I think one thing with me, as Eddie Hearn said, he said on the interview in The Zone, he said that, right, okay, yeah, it's good, you're winning, you're a star, whatever, but you're not fighting the best fighters available. I couldn't agree more. There's so many good fights for him at lightweight that he could take. These so-called four kings, why not fight one of them? I mean, Devin Haney would be ready, willing, and able to take on a guy like Tank. Why not take it? I mean, I don't get what's the hold up is with these guys. They're and a guy like Tank, he is very good, but they're kind of just steering clear of any decent competition. They're steering clear of anybody with a real pulse, anybody with a real chance of beating him. So yeah, it's a funny one, a back and forth. Tank's got the high and mighty attitude, and Eddie Hearn, for my money, just brought him down to earth. And it's like, yeah, okay, but look at your numbers. You're not doing much. 200K, as Eddie Hearn said, it's really not a lot in a country like America. And I think Davis, he's got over 1 million followers on his social media. I think he's got well over 1 million. But when it comes to actual fights, and when it comes to the gates and the pay-per-view, these millions of fans he's got are not buying the pay-per-views, and they're obviously not supporting him at the box office. And I think in order for him to sort of get bigger numbers and to really justify calling himself, and Ellaby and the rest of them calling him a superstar, he's got to fight the best names. He's got to fight. I mean, don't get me wrong, Garcia, he's gone off on his own thing, but you've got guys like at least Devin Haney, who's out there, who's got the real belt, and why not fight someone like that? Why not fight him and really push yourself, really challenge yourself? Because I'm one of these people that I do believe Gervonta Davis is legit. I believe he's a very exceptional fighter. But my only problem is the way that he's kind of being managed, and the way that he's being steered clear of the best competition in and around the weights that he fights. He's been, Mayweather and Ellaby and that, they're just kind of steering him away from the best guys, from guys that it will be a 50-50, guys that we don't know if he's going to win or lose. And the sad thing about it is that he could prove to be the best out of those four guys, out of Lopez, Garcia, Haney, and himself. He could prove to be the best one of the lot of them. And that's just a reality. He may well be that, because he is talented. But the thing is, unless he actually fights these guys, unless he actually fights the legacy fights and actually fights the best, we'll never know. There'll always be a big question mark, and there'll always be a what if. And for me, that is what really irritates me as a boxing fan. I hope things will change. I hope they will cross the streets or whatever and actually get him in there with the best guys. But anyway, that's my thoughts on that little Twitter back and forth between Hearn and Davis. I found it quite interesting, quite entertaining, and a bit of a truth bomb there dropped by Eddie Hearn. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And until next time, this is MKO Pugilism, over and out. I'll catch you on the next one.